Stella, can I talk to you for a moment?
Alan, taking a break now? I'm on a break too, so it's fine. What's up?
Well, you know about the gift for Mother's Day for our mom, right? I've been thinking about it for a while, you know? I've finally made a decision, so I wanted to let you know.
Ah, you mentioned it before. By telling me, does that mean you're planning to give something relatively expensive?
Exactly. Well, it seems tough to cover it with just my allowance. If it's okay with you, Stella, could you contribute some money? What do you think?
Since your mom has been taking care of me too, it's totally fine for me to chip in. Well, it depends on what it is. What are you thinking of sending?
I'm thinking of sending her on a trip. Mother's Day is right before vacation, right?
A trip, huh? If we go, it'll be during vacation, right?
I have work too, so that's how it will be. I thought we could make it an early present. Since we only have one parent, I don't think she has ever been on a trip or anything. I think she'll be really happy.
Did you talk to her about this?
Before I contacted you, she called me. I briefly mentioned it to her at that time. She said it's okay to go for about 2 nights.
I see.
I know that a trip can be financially challenging, but I want to show a giving back to her. Can we somehow manage to use our savings?
Well, it's true that she has taken care of us. Okay, I'll cover the remaining amount.
Really? Thank you. Mom will be happy too.
You're welcome. The details of the trip haven't been decided yet, right?
We decided on it today, actually. She said she'd like to go to a hot spring if we go. We're going to plan to discuss it again.
Then, let me know once the details are confirmed. I'll withdraw the money.
Thank you so much. I know it's going to be a lot of trouble, but I'm counting on you.
But are you okay? Vacation is coming soon, isn't it? From now, all the hotels must be fully booked, right?
I'll look into that, including availability. Well, we've made some preliminary arrangements, so I think it'll be fine.
I see, that's good then.
Also, I'm sorry to say this to you, but for this trip, I want it to be just us, without you. I know it will make you feel lonely, but
I understand. It's your first trip together as a parent-child duo. I'm not completely oblivious to the situation. So go and enjoy it, just 2 of you.
I really appreciate you. In return, I'll accompany you during the rest of vacation.
Remember what you said, okay? I want to visit my parents' house and go out for some fun too. Make sure you keep me company, alright?
Of course. I'll do my best to make sure you have a good time. Well then, I'll get back to work. Thank you so much for this time.
Got it, I'll get back to work too. Good luck, Alan. Alan, how's it going for you? Have you arrived at the hotel already?
We just checked in a little while ago. We're discussing where to have lunch with her right now.
I'm glad you arrived safely. I looked up some websites briefly. And there are many delicious things in the area, right? What are you planning to eat?
I'm torn between Chinese food and sushi. Both places look delicious.
Lucky you! Now I feel like having something to eat too. Maybe I'll get some Chinese food for lunch today.
In that case, we'll go for sushi.
Don't compete in weird ways. But it's really good. I'd love to go to a hot spring too. Take me there next time, okay?
Let's go on the next long weekend or something. By the way, I'm really sorry.
Huh, what's wrong? Why the sudden apology?
Well, Stella, you've listened to my selfishness, right? And because of that, I'm making you feel lonely. So I'm really sorry.
It's fine, really. Besides, she's been good to me too. I gave my approval for this trip, remember? I'm not suddenly concerned about it or anything.
Thank you, really.
Instead, since you're already there, you should have fun. It would be pointless if you can't enjoy yourself because you're worried about me. You should apologize to her.
You're right about that.
I'll decide to enjoy myself to the fullest now.
That's right. Just make sure you give me your full attention when you return. For now, cherish the time with her.
That's what I'll do.
Thank you so much.
It's your first trip with her, after all. Usually, you go to visit her alone. But occasions like this should be treasured.
As much as I enjoy it, I'll definitely buy back some souvenirs for you. Should you look forward to it too?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
And I know this might not be the best timing, but I'm planning to go out for drinks tonight. It's been a while. We're planning to do some sightseeing tomorrow morning, so I might be late if you try to contact me.
If that's the case, it's totally fine. I'll refrain from contacting you unless it's an emergency.
I'd appreciate it if you could do the same. Well then, I'm going out to eat. See you later.
Let me know as soon as you wake up.
I just woke up.
By the way, I checked the call history and you've been calling since last night. What's with the phone calls? We're on a trip with my mom, so stop calling so much. Didn't I ask you to refrain from calling yesterday?
I said to only contact you if it's an emergency, right? But you haven't been answering at all, and it's causing trouble.
I'm sorry about that. So, what happened after all?
Your mom passed away. The funeral is scheduled for the day after tomorrow.
What?
What kind of joke is this? I don't understand.
You don't understand? That's my line. Aren't you on a trip with her? But last night, I received a call from the hospital saying, your mother-in-law is in critical condition.
Is it true? Where are you right now?
I've been at the hospital since last night. I found it strange because you two were on a trip. Then I received a call from a relative and rushed there immediately. I've been calling you the whole time, you know?
No, wait a minute. Seriously, is that true that my mom passed away? You're joking, right?
So I'm telling you what happened. When I arrived at the hospital, she was already gone. They were doing mortuary care on her when I got there.
This can't be true.
Anyway, I'll come back right away.
About that, you know. You don't have to come back.
Huh? What are you talking about?
She's my mom, you know?
That's exactly why. What were you doing when your own mother was in critical condition? Lying to me and probably having an affair, right?
Stop with these baseless accusations. I haven't done anything like that.
Then who are you on this trip with? Your mom is here. Where are you? Can't say anything, can you? Because that's the truth.
Even if I were having an affair, so what? What does that have to do with my mom?
Because it's relevant, I'm telling you.
What are you talking about? Where's the relevance?
When you occasionally went back to her house alone, it wasn't to visit her. It was just an excuse for your affair, right? Even more, you were also asking her for money.
Why are you bringing up that now?
The auntie who contacted me told me about it. She said that you only visited your mom when you were with me, and that she struggled financially because of the money you asked her. I was really surprised because I didn't know any of that.
But even so, that doesn't justify this, right? The fact remains that I'm the only child of my mother. Do you have the right to stop me from visiting my own parent?
I don't have that right. I can't even stop you from attending the funeral.
Well then, that's fine.
Stop interfering.
But you know, it's not just my opinion. It's the collective sentiment of all your mom's relatives.
Everyone.
They don't want to meet someone like you. They're saying, don't come to the funeral. You don't have the qualification to bid farewell to a mother to who you caused suffering and betrayed your wife. Understand?
Don't mess with me. I'm definitely going, all right?
Oh, really? Well, Do as you please then. Well, I don't think they'll let you in, though.
What do you mean by they won't let you in?
You'll find out when you come and see, won't you? Well then, I have preparations for her funeral. So please don't contact me anymore.
Hey, Stella. Say something to them too. They're not letting me in at all.
Didn't I tell you yesterday? They won't let you in. Have you finally understood?
Why can they let you in and not me? I'm her real son, you know.
It's just that they don't want you to attend. All the relatives are saying that if you come, they'll turn you away. In fact, they won't let you in, will they?
But even so, this is just unbelievable. It's seriously annoying. Whose mother's funeral do you think this is?
I don't think complaining there will make any difference. Anyway, just be quiet and behave, all right?
No, I'll definitely go in. I'll go and have a talk with them. Seriously, it's impossible to reason with them. They said, how dare such an unfilial child like you show up? Seriously, stop joking around.
Have you given up already? It's obviously a waste of time, and the funeral is about to start soon.
That's exactly why. You're inside, aren't you? So tell them to let me through.
Of course, I do not want to, right? Why should I have to help you? Let me tell you, I feel the same as everyone else. In fact, it's because you never paid attention to her until now, right? So why is it now?
I never expected things to turn out like this.
You're the one who caused all this, you know? And yet you still look like it's not your fault. How shameless can you be?
Don't get mad at me just because I had an affair. It's said having an affair is a sign of a man's worth, right? Just let it go and let me in already.
It's up to us to decide that. Don't act defiant and say things that make no sense. And by the way, don't try to force your way in. If you do, I'll call the police.
Don't make a big deal out of it. I just want to bid farewell to my mom.
Even if that's the case, no one wants that. So, it's pointless. Plus, it would be troublesome if the police were called, right? It would be troublesome for me too, so just wait in silence.
So you're okay with me having an affair?
Ha! Why do you think that?
Because if your husband gets arrested, it would be troublesome, right? So, does that mean you're not concerned about the affair?
Never! I just don't want the divorce process to be a hassle. I have no intention of forgiving you and the woman you had an affair with. I'll take as much money as I can from you.
No, seriously, give me a break. I'll give back to you for this trip's expenses. So please forgive me.
How are you going to repay? You didn't have that money, so you lied to me and went on the trip, right?
Well, my mom passed away, right? That means there are mom's properties. Considering that, it would be a loss to get divorced now, you know? You understand that much, don't you?
I can't believe you're saying such things when you're at a loss for words. It was the right decision not to let you in, after all.
What do you mean by that?
That's the reason why we're getting a divorce, because you don't understand that. Got it? Just stay quiet. Don't say anything that will embarrass my mother-in-law any further.
Is that really okay? Don't you also want some? If we get divorced, you'll definitely regret it.
I would regret it if I had stayed as your wife. So let's get divorced. It's the choice that won't make me regret. After that, I ignored his contacts and the funeral ended without any issues. After the funeral, he confronted me about the divorce, but with the help of the relatives who were present, I managed to silence Alan. We went to the city hall together and submitted the divorce papers, and we got divorced. As for her money that he had been talking about, there was no significant inheritance to speak of, especially considering that he had been begging for money. Additionally, he had to pay me alimony, and he broke up with his affair partner. Now, he lives a difficult life. After the divorce from him, I enjoy my independent life. I regularly visit my ex-mother-in-law's grave, reporting on my current situation and cleaning the grave. Even though I divorced him, his mom is still an important mother to me, so I will continue to live without forgetting that. Grace, can I have a moment?
Yes, mother-in-law. I'm on a break from work, so it's all good. What can I do for you?
Well, Betty is divorcing and moving back here, and her boyfriend, Carl Anderson, will come with her.
What? Betty got divorced? And she has a boyfriend, huh?
Yes, dear. It seems her husband discovered she was cheating. Poor thing.
Oh.
But she's serious about Anderson, so they're coming back together, with marriage in mind.
So, Anderson is Betty's adulterous lover, right? Isn't the reason she got divorced?
Well, that's part of it. We don't know what happens in our lives.
No, I think it's pretty standard for a married person not to cheat.
A mother always supports her daughter's love life, even if it involves infidelity.
But...
All right, enough with the nitpicking. I can hardly get to the main point with you.
Wait, there was more?
Actually, Anderson, he's unemployed at the moment.
What? Betty was a housewife before her divorce, wasn't she? So they're both jobless.
That seems to be the case. So I've decided they'll be living with us from tomorrow.
What?
Since you work at a major company and have a high income, you'll pay the bill for their living expenses.
Excuse me?
I told you. Since Betty and her boyfriend, Anderson, aren't working, you'll be responsible for their living expenses.
What? Why me? I can't agree for that. And I can't live with them.
I'm not asking for your opinion. I've decided as the head of this household, so just go along with it.
Excuse me? The head of the household?
You're Ethan's wife, so you have a duty to support our family.
I believe I'm already doing more than enough to support everyone. If I have to shoulder any more, we'll be in serious financial trouble.
But Betty is my daughter, and Anderson might become my son-in-law in the future.
I don't mind if they get married, but I think it's wrong for me to shoulder their living expenses and have them living with us.
Do you want to divorce Ethan? He's my son, whom I raised. I'm sure he'll agree with me.
Ethan isn't like that. I'll talk to him tonight.
Well, it's a waste of time to discuss it now. It's already decided that Betty and Anderson will move here from tomorrow.
Ethan, we have a big problem while you're away on your business trip.
Grace, what's wrong? Did something happen?
Your mother told me this afternoon. Betty got divorced due to an affair, and it seems she's coming back here with her lover, a guy named Carl Anderson. And it looks like they plan to move in with us from tomorrow.
What, seriously?
Yes, I'm serious. Furthermore, your mother told me I have to pay the bill for their living expenses.
What? That's ridiculous.
Right? I refused, but she wouldn't listen.
Wait, she got divorced because she cheated? I had no idea my sister did such a thing, which is no common sense.
I was also shocked when I first heard about it on group chat this afternoon.
Mom has always been overly loved Betty. It's seen as wrong by society. If it's Betty, it can't be helped, or Betty is special, so it's okay. It's really troubling for us who should be advising her because we can't have a reasonable conversation.
Ethan, you've had a hard time, haven't you?
Well, yeah, my divorced father used to sigh every time something happened.
I see.
By the way, Is his name Carl Anderson, correct?
What?
I feel I've heard this name somewhere.
Well, assuming your mother didn't make a mistake, I guess so.
Okay, it's bothering me, so I'll look into it. It may not be someone directly related to me, but it could be a friend of a friend or something.
I see. Please let me know if you find anything.
Okay. Then I'll reach out to my friends and see if they know anything.
Okay, thanks. Mother-in-law. Hey, where are you right now?
You're so noisy. I'm out having dinner with my friends right now. What's up?
About Betty and her boyfriend, Anderson, was it?
They arrived in the afternoon. Have you met them yet?
Met them. They're, for some reason, canoodling in my room. And their luggage is taking up my entire room. And all of my stuff, it's all tossed out in the yard. What's going on?
I gave your room to them. That's why all your stuff is out in the yard.
Isn't that way out of line?
It's your fault for refusing to pay for their living expenses.
What?
If you won't agree to cover their expenses, you're the one who'll have to leave.
I have no intention of agreeing for that no matter what you say. I don't agree to Betty and her boyfriend living with us, and I certainly won't pay for their living expenses.
Then I'll put your belongings in the yard. They'll get wet if it rains. Speaking of which, wasn't rain forecast for tonight?
Why are you acting so superior? Aren't you forgetting your position in this house?
I think you're the one forgetting your position, Grace. As the daughter-in-law, you don't have the right to oppose us, the family into which you married.
Rights, huh?
Well, if you declare you'll pay for Betty and her boyfriend's living expenses, you're welcome to live in the garden shed. For you, who have no parents or siblings, no place to go back to, it's better than being thrown out of this house. Make your choice: either listen to what I say or leave my house.
Ethan, are you on your way back now?
Yeah, I'm in the bullet train. How are you going? If everything went as planned, Betty and Anderson would be at my parents' house from yesterday, right?
Yes. And they've taken over my room.
Wait, they took over your room?
When I came home from work, all of my stuff was spectacularly tossed out into the yard. When I complained to my mother-in-law, she said she would let me keep my stuff in the garden shed if I agreed to pay Betty's living expenses. If you reject, I should leave.
What? I want to ask my mother whether she's crazy. I'm really sorry for such a troublesome mother.
It's not your fault, Ethan.
Speaking of which, where were you last night? You surely didn't spend the night in the shed, did you?
No, I stayed at a business hotel as expected. I rented a pickup truck and stored the stuff that was tossed out into the yard in a rented storage unit.
I see, you got it.
I'm sorry I didn't contact you sooner. I was so tired from moving the stuff that I just fell asleep.
No problem. By the way, where's the hotel you stayed in?
About a 6-minute walk from Station A.
Can we meet at the south exit of Station A? I found out who Carl Anderson really is and I want to report it to you.
Really?
After I get off the bullet train, I have to go back to work, but after I give my business trip report, I can leave for the day. I'm thinking of meeting up about 2 hours later.
Got it. Can I wait downstairs at the south exit of Station A?
Downstairs, got it.
See you later.
Yeah, see you in 2 hours.
Ethan, thank you for the report earlier.
Sure, Grace.
I have to say, I was surprised. Carl Anderson, he's really a dangerous man.
Yeah, no kidding. When I remembered from a friend's story, I was surprised.
Anyway, I'll be at the business hotel again tonight.
Sure, I'll join you as soon as I'm ready.
Grace, have you finally made up your mind?
About what?
Stop sulking in the shed and swear to quickly start paying Betty's living expenses.
No matter how many times I'm told, I don't agree to pay for their living expenses, and I have no intention of doing so.
You have to listen to me. I'm your mother-in-law. If you don't accept quickly, I'll make you divorce Ethan.
Mom,
Oh, Ethan, good timing. Can you please also persuade Grace to be responsible for Betty and Anderson's living expenses?
we've already left the house.
What?
You've noticed Grace's belongings have been moved out, haven't you? I also moved all of my stuff out of my room overnight, and now I'm with Grace.
What? Where did you go?
I can't tell you that. We've decided to cut ties.
Cut ties. Why would you do such a thing?
Because you've been tormenting Grace ever since she married into the family. Grace is my precious wife. There's no way I can just let that slide.
I wasn't tormenting her. Grace was just being rebellious against our family, and she wasn't accepting Betty and Anderson. I was just trying to make her understand her position and convince her.
Mom, do you know the true character of Carl Anderson?
What do you mean by true character? He's just Betty's boyfriend, right?
Wrong. Anderson is a man who stole my friend's wife.
What?
He's also been involved with several other married women, and after being sued for over $100,000 in damages, he's now in debt.
In debt?
I found this out when I looked him up because his name rang a bell. It's highly likely that Betty knows Anderson is this kind of man and is still dating him. The reason she brought Anderson into our house could be to help him hide from debt collectors.
No way. Betty wouldn't do such a thing.
And aren't you worried about your savings being targeted?
What?
Shouldn't you check just in case? Mom, you've told Betty about the money you received from Dad as part of your estate settlement and are keeping it at home in cash, right?
Yes. I was thinking of it as my retirement fund. Having it at hand, I could actually see the money growing, and it motivated me.
What if Anderson heard about it from Betty?
Huh.
Is your retirement fund all right?
Retirement fund. My hidden savings. Surely not. Grace, help me.
What's going on?
The $30,000 I was saving in my drawer for my retirement is gone.
What?
When I asked Betty and Anderson about it, they said we used it as a housewarming celebration.
That's terrible.
Grace, help me.
Isn't it strange for you to ask me for help? Perhaps it would be more worthwhile for you to urgently look for a job.
But Grace, I am your mother-in-law. You should feel indebted to me for living together with you.
This has been bothering me for a while. Living together, indebted, what are you talking about?
Well, because you don't have any parents or siblings, so I'm living with you as a substitute mother and letting you take care of me.
Indeed, I lost my parents and I was an only child, so I have no siblings. I'm working hard to make a living, and I could easily find a place to go home if I rent a place. And the place to go home I rented turned out to be the house I was kicked out of.
What? You mean you're the renter, Grace?
Yes. Didn't we talk about this? Ethan moved into the single-family house I've been renting since I was single after we got married, and was it 2 months later? You lost your home due to the divorce from your old husband and suddenly showed up one day with movers, and you've been squatting ever since.
No way.
Let me continue the story. If I, the renter, move out, it means canceling the lease for that house.
What?
So, the end of this month is the moving out day. Please tell Betty and Anderson to start preparing to leave immediately.
I can't do that. Where are we supposed to go? Even the $30,000 for my retirement was used up. And I didn't know Anderson was such a terrible man. Grace.
It's too late. Goodbye.
Grace.
First, it is about Carl Anderson. After revealing his deeds to the Ethan's friend whom he had stolen his wife, notifications were quickly spread to all involved parties. The next day, he, and strangely enough, Betty too, were taken somewhere in a black van. As the debt payments seem to be paying on schedule every month, it looks like things have turned out all right on that front. On the other hand, my mother-in-law. She has lost both her home and her breadwinner, and she finally acknowledged her dire situation. To secure her basic needs, she managed to find live-in employment. However, seemingly she acts out by bossing around her colleagues who are younger than her and doing other inappropriate behaviors, so she's begun a countdown to being fired, yet she appears to have no clue about it.